All right, good morning. Pardon Board is reconvening. We're at David Wade Correctional Center. Today is Monday, June 5th. It's 10:32 a.m. Would the staff at David Wade introduce yourself for the record?
Jerry Goodman, Warden. Ryan Kimball, Assistant Warden.
Kristen Harper, Conservation. Crystal Seymour, Modification.
Colonel Malcolm.
Jamie Wynn.
That's everybody, Mr. Knott.
All right, thank you. Mr. Horne, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your DOC number, please.
Good morning. My name is Leon Horne, DOC number 354432. All
right, Mr. Horne, good morning. I want to acknowledge the folks who joined us by Zoom. We have Lisa Early Coppin, Tisha Horne, Leslie Horne, all who will be speaking in favor, and at the appropriate time, we'll ask you to do so. Mr. Horne, first I'm going to read some information into the record, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Freeman, seated to my far right. Your case has been assigned to him. Mr. Horne, you are here this morning seeking commutation of your sentence. You were sentenced in Ouachita Parish, the 4th Judicial District, in May of 1995 to a life sentence for second-degree murder. Mr. Horne, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Could you answer Mr. Freeman's questions, please?
Okay, Horne, how old are you?
71.
And how long have you served on this charge?
27 years, 26, 27. Yeah.
Okay. A little bit more.
28.
Yeah, be 28 July. Yeah.
What's your educational level?
But wait,
Education.
High school?
Okay. Have you ever had any other convictions besides this conviction?
No, sir.
Any other arrests?
Any other arrests?
Yeah.
No, sir.
That's besides this conviction.
No, sir.
Okay, tell me what happened. Okay, obviously you was having a confrontation with your wife, so tell me what happened on that day.
Well, it just is where it started the night, where a.m. in the morning, you kept calling and harassing me. And it just got me off to a bad start. And then the next day I was waiting on my daughter, who had been coming by every morning to pick up the car to go to school. And she happened to show up. Things went wild from there. And I don't know, I tried to stop her so I can tell my daughter to go by the dealership and pick up the car, or they had to go have a service on that day. And after I got to a stop sign, I saw the van come around the corner, and I noticed the wife was driving, and I tried to stop her, and she wouldn't stop. She just looked at me and went to laughing, and I already been having a bad, so I guess it just went wild, and that's when I caught my charge.
It just went wild. Okay, so obviously ran vehicles a couple times. Is that correct?
I'm big on it.
Say it again, Mr. Freeman. That didn't come through very good.
Okay, did y'all kind of ram into each other?
Oh, yes, sir. I did. Yes, sir.
Okay, and you initiated that part of it?
Yeah, I was trying to stop her. Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you shot, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, sir.
Okay, how many times did you shoot him?
I really don't know. They said several times. I don't know, 8, 9, somewhere along there. I don't know, really.
Were you on drugs, alcohol at the time?
Oh, no, sir. That's what I don't fool with those, either one.
Okay, you never did drugs, alcohol.
No, sir. Mm-mm.
What was the relationship with your wife at that time? Were y'all separated?
Yes, sir. We had been separated about a month or so.
A month.
And I hadn't heard from her, nothing like that, so I don't know.
How many kids do you have?
3 girls.
Okay, do you have a relationship with all of them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Try hard to.
Okay,
In fact, one of the baby girls was living with me at the time.
The girls were living with you at the time. Looking at the opposition and recommendations, we got the sentencing judge is opposed. The district attorney is opposed. The sheriff is opposed. The chief is opposed, which we expect law enforcement. Unopposed is your daughter. And I mean, she's considered one of the victims in this case. Matter of fact, she's even gonna offer you a place to stay. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. What is gonna be your transition plan? I mean, you're gonna live with your daughter. You're gonna try to work. You're gonna draw Social Security. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna try to work to get my own place. So I wouldn't have to live with her.
What did you do prior to your arrest? Where did you work?
I was an air conditioning refrigeration man and a truck driver, a deputy, reserve deputy for years.
Reserve deputy, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your risk is low, your custody is men. You've had one write-up that was in 8 of 96. I'm not going back to even talk about that. That was you first put in jail. What's your job at the prison? What do you do?
Well, a mechanic, I guess you call it a technician in the laundry.
Kind of community involvement you have at the prison?
Oh, sure. I get on. I mean, everybody.
I know. I mean, are you belong to any groups?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, what do you belong to?
AANA and anger management.
Why you belong to AANA if you didn't have a drug problem?
I just want to get in a club. I mean, I just joined and these.
What'd you learn from anger management?
Beg pardon?
What do you like about anger management? Or what did you learn from anger management?
That. Find out there's a lot of cuts to get out of stuff. If you just use it, you can get out of it and save a lot of time. It helps. It helps.
How do you feel about your crime?
Oh, that's something something I deal with daily. I mean, I don't think it'll never leave. It'll never leave. It'll be there forever. And I'll never forget it.
How long were y'all married or together?
24 years, off and on.
All three of your children are with her?
Yes, sir.
You took very limited classes. Is there any particular reason why you didn't take many classes?
Well, my job, I mean, it had a lot to do with it because it works like really 24/7. You're on call at all times, 7 days a week.
Okay. Warden, what do you have to say about Mr. Horne?
Well, Mr. Freeman, I'll answer a couple of your questions there that Leon, the reason he's in the AANA program, he helps administer that program. And we require program participation to keep his honor card. And that's primarily the reason he's in AANA. It's an afternoon, evening club that meets. He does not have a documented history of any alcohol or substance abuse, but he has a good rapport with a lot of the inmates at this institution, and he provides a level of stability in that program that's very welcome by the administration of this institution, and we encourage his participation in that. Leon's been here at Wade since 1995, like I said, almost 28 years, be 28 years in July. When he first got here, he started in our N5 protection unit because of his past employment and position with the Ouachita Parish Sheriff's Department. He'd been with them for a number of years as a reserve deputy and a part-time deputy with that law enforcement agency there in Ouachita Parish. He moved to general population in 2011, and he obtained his trustee status in 2013, March of 2013. He's been a trustee for over 10 years now, and he's a longtime member of the Honor Inmate Program at this institution. Leon doesn't have any mental health issues or medical issues. He's a very healthy 71-year-old individual. And throughout his entire incarceration, he's never had a positive drug test or never had an issue with any kind of substance abuse whatsoever throughout his entire incarceration, the last 28 years. He's got an excellent work evaluation, and he's been issued competency certificates in laundry management, laundry supervisor. As you mentioned earlier, he's got excellent conduct and excellent institutional record. Leon's got a very positive attitude. He's a very pleasant individual to be around. You mentioned that one write-up he had, that was in 1996. That was almost 27 years ago. He participated in the programs that we felt was most appropriate for the crime that he's convicted of or that he's incarcerated for. That was anger management, cage of rage, victim awareness. He's active in the faith-based community at this institution as well, and he does provide mentorship at the AANA program. He's got his release plans well established with his daughter in Maryland. I think her name's Patricia, and I think she's going to be speaking in a little bit. And y'all know me pretty well. I've been with the Department of Corrections for almost 40 years, and I'm a pretty strong advocate for public safety. And, I can honestly say without reservation that I believe that Leon Horne, if he's given the opportunity, he would be a law-abiding citizen that would make positive contributions to any community that he lives in. Leon's the type of individual that you would probably want as your neighbor, Mr. Freeman. If you could pick your own neighbors, Leon would be one that you'd want living in your neighborhood. He's a good, decent individual, good man. I know the crime he committed was, it is what it is. I mean, it was a very serious crime, very life altering for a lot of people, including his children and himself. And it took the life of his wife at the time. And over the years that I've known Leon Horne, he's expressed remorse, quite a bit of remorse for his actions that landed him in prison. He's a very somber individual, very thoughtful, and I'll tell you, Mr. Freeman, there's probably no kind of machine he can't work on, and he does a tremendous job for us in our laundry. He's probably saved the institution thousands and thousands of dollars over the years by maintaining our laundry equipment and fixing any issues that come up with them. And he does preventative maintenance on all of them, and he's a very valuable asset to this institution. And I think if he's given the opportunity to release from David Wade Correctional Center, I don't think, if his interstate compact agreement to Maryland's approved, I don't think the good people in Maryland have anything to be concerned about with Mr. Leon Horne being in their neighborhood. I might have it open to any questions you may have, Mr. Freeman, or anybody else on the board.
I think you covered it all, Warden. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll hear from the daughters. We have all three of them here today, so we'll start first with Miss Lisa. We'd like to hear from you first.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today about the impact of my father's actions on our lives. I will just say that particularly at the time of trial in the spring of 1995. There was so much heightened sensitivity to domestic violence incidents pursuant to the O.J. Simpson trial that January that, in my opinion, my father's case became a media bliss for the domestic violence cause. And because of that, I've always felt that no one bothered to hear from the children and to find out how we really felt. So for that reason, I'm truly grateful that we've been given this opportunity today to speak on behalf of our father. We were extremely sad and are still very heartbroken to have lost our mother so suddenly and tragically. But all of our lives since then, my sisters and I have shared some raw emotions and feelings about all that happened as we've tried to understand what happened and be at peace with it. And maintaining our relationship with our father has been a critical part of that healing and that reconciliation. Through the years, we've been able, through our visits with our father, at Wade, conversations over the phone, we've been able to have some tough conversation and express some candid thoughts with him about how we feel. I can recall when I arrived in Monroe the night of the incident, I told my sisters then that we should not destroy our lives any more than they had been destroyed already by harboring hatred against our father, because he is a great dad. He was then and he still is now. When we need advice, counsel, lifted up, we can reach out to him now and still get the support and love of a father. So as I've acknowledged already many times in several statements, he's a great dad. By many accounts, we all agree that, he was perhaps a bad husband, a not so good husband, but we can't change that now. When we look back retrospectively and we realize some valuable life lessons. And we just believe that our healing and our lives will continue to get better from this incident if our father's sentence is commuted and he is able to, be returned to us. He has a granddaughter now who's never been able to see him unless behind bars. So, I'm hopeful for her that she will be able to experience the person that he is as we did as children. Summarily, I love him. I will always love him despite all that has happened. As my father, I have forgiven him. And if released, my sister and I, Patricia, are both in Maryland, and we are welcoming him home to Maryland to live. We've researched a reentry program for here in Maryland. In fact, Patricia used to work with the organization, and we have a contact who's an official with the organization that's willing to work with us to get Daddy some employment. But I have no doubt that he will be able to successfully re-enter society, because my dad's always been a jack of all trades. He can, in our opinion, can fix anything, a car, a broken washer, a stove, or whatever. So I have no doubt that he could rejoin us and help us all to resume a sense of normalcy in our lives. So thank you very much again for this opportunity. And as I said when I started, I fully support his application for the commutation of his sentence.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ms. Patricia Horne.
Yes.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, as my sister said, for this opportunity to speak. I too fully support commutation of sentence for my father. I am his youngest daughter. I was 15 when my father was convicted. And theoretically, I feel like I lost both my parents in one day, but my father is still here and very present in my life. I talk on the phone with my father at least once per week. Even as an adult at 43 now, I still need my dad. I still consult with him before any major purchases that I make. If I need brakes on my car, I still talk to my dad because he is the best advocate and supporter for me. And since this tragedy, I've been under psychiatric care that my doctor has confirmed that is related to separation from my father and abandonment. So I fully support his commutation of sentence and him being able to return and do good things in the community and be a part of our family and be the great dad that he has always and will always be. And I will be the voice of freedom for him forever. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, and then we have Miss Leslie Horne.
Good morning. My name is Leslie, and I am the middle daughter. And I'm here also today to express my support for commutation of sentence for my father. Initially, in the beginning, you know, I had mixed emotions about going and visiting with my dad. But after support and comfort from my family and much prayer, you know, I began to be in a better place emotionally and still remain today. I visit my daddy quite often, driving over to David Wade. I look forward to the picnic visits and going to seeing him and seeing his joy when I surprise him with something new that's out to eat or some of his favorites. And then he's really surprised and so happy whenever I take my daughter with me to visit him, which is his only grandchild. I try to visit at least once a month. We email quite often. And then I also travel and take some of his friends that he's had for a long time that's not able to drive long distance. I drive them over to visit with him as well. I love my dad, and I can say that there are still so many of my family and my friends that love him, and they express their concern for him often because I still live in the area. I run into people all the time asking, how's your dad? Tell them I say hi. I wish your dad was here to fix my air conditioner. I wish your dad was here to fix my car. And a lot of the guys in the neighborhood are like, if your dad was here, you know, my life would be so much better because he was just that influential to those around us in the neighborhood. As my sisters have already said, he's a great dad to me and my sisters. He was our biggest supporter. When I played basketball, he was out there playing with me in the neighborhood. He would always come to my games, make sure I had what I needed.
Mhm.
All I saw was all I've ever known is a man that go to work. He worked every day and make sure that we had the best of everything. We had the best vacations. We went to the best schools. You know, he made sure we was in the best teachers' classes. And so when all of this happened, it was a shock. It was a shock that all of this happened. Because I could have never imagined that this happened, and certainly not imagine that this was happening by my dad. But I believe that he has served his time, and I don't believe that he's be a danger to society. There are those that believe that our support of our dad is disrespectful to our mother, but we can't live our lives with pent up emotions and frustrations. We must live with love. We must forgive as God has forgiven us. And that's what I live with every day. I wake up thinking, what would Jesus do? He has forgiven us, and I have forgiven my father. Nothing would bring my mother back. But while we have a little time left on this side, I would appreciate, and we would appreciate, the opportunity to spend more time with our father. And we're hoping that you would grant him his commutation of sentence by his application. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Leon, is there a statement you'd like to make to us before we vote?
This is your closing statement, so before they vote, tell them anything you want to tell them.
All right, man, I must thank y'all for your time. And man, so much I like to say, but I can't. It's rough. Thank you.
Sir. All right, I think we are prepared to vote, Mr.
Okay, Mr. Horne, you have a very, very good prison record. You had outstanding comments from the warden. Really and truly, that's the most I've ever seen him speak on someone. You have your daughter's support, which is very, very important. And I want to thank him for showing up and speaking today, because it makes a big deal in our decision. So my decision is to grant and commute your sentence to 50 years with immediate parole eligibility.
My vote is the same for the same reason.
Mr. Rushay.
Mr. Horne, I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
speak to the daughters first. I also have 3 daughters. And my wish is that they're as wise as you are. So Horne, my vote is the same, commute to 50 years with immediate parole eligibility.
And I do concur, Mr. Horne, my vote is the same. So on your behalf, we're going to make that recommendation to Governor. Tony. Oh, I'm sorry, Tony.
My vote is likewise.
I apologize.
Sorry,
I forgot.
I've already.
You voted. All right. So it's unanimous, Mr. Horne. Good luck to you, sir. Warden Goodwin, that concludes our business at your facility. We're going to move on. It's 10:58.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.